On 4th of November, I woke up to a harsh reality that the Hindu temple in Canada was attacked by pro-Khalistani supporters. It was really a shocking sight to see on news channel. The attack on Hindu temple is attributed to Khalistani extremists, and it is a concerning issue with deep political, historical, and social roots. Now let's understand the motivations, reasons, and potential consequences which can give a context to this disturbing trend. The Khalistan movement traces back to the 1970s and 80s in India, primarily in Punjab, where some groups sought an independent Sikh state called Khalistan. Although the movement diminished within India, some factions have remained active in the global Sikh diaspora, particularly in countries like Canada, the UK, and the US. These groups often cite grievances related to the Indian government's handling of Sikh issues emanating from the 1984 anti Sikh riots, which were attributed to the assassination of then Prime Minister Mrs. Indira Gandhi, which led to Operation Blue Star. They claim to advocate for Sikh rights and autonomy. Hindu temples may be targeted as symbols of Indian authority or Hindu majority governance in India, which the current political party projects itself as, which they perceive is suppressing Sikh aspirations. The attacks may be intended to send a message to the Indian government or to initiate Indian origin Hindus, I would say intimidate the Indian origin Hindus in Canada. Some Khalistani groups within the Sikh diaspora have remained politically active and are believed to fund anti India propaganda targeting institutions associated with Indian or Hindu identity. This is further fueled by political campaigns or referendums like those for Khalistan independence, which they often organize in countries with substantial Sikh communities globally, that is outside of India. Social media has played a significant role in mobilizing individuals, spreading radical messages, and amplifying grievances, which can lead to heightened hostility and instigated violence. Canada's political landscape sometimes influences these tensions. Politicians may avoid taking strong stances against Khalistani activists for fear of alienating the Sikh vote bank, which is significant in areas like Ontario and British Columbia. In fact, the muted statement by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is a reflection of this very contention that I'm making in front of you. Consequences of such attacks. Now, this is an important aspect. These attacks strain relations between Sikh and Hindu communities, both in Canada and has global implications. They create a climate of fear and hostilities among Hindu Canadians and Indian expatriates, fostering mistrust and division within the diaspora. In fact, repeated incidents can damage diplomatic relations between India and Canada, and currently the relations are at an all time low. India has often raised concerns with Canada over Khalistani activities, and any lack of action from the Canadian authorities could lead to diplomatic friction, impacting trade, immigration policies, and international cooperation. In fact, the biggest losers would be hordes of Indian youngsters who want to pursue their higher studies in the Canadian educational institutions. As attacks escalate, Canadian authorities may be compelled to enhance security measures around Indian and Hindu sites. Failure to address these attacks adequately could erode public confidence in Canadian institutions' ability to protect minority community. It would be interesting to note that Hindus comprise of 8 to 9 lakhs in Canada, whereas Sikhs are around 10 million. What are the potential long-term implications? Now let's understand that. Canadian authorities may face pressure to crack down on extremist groups through surveillance, financial scrutiny, and stricter legal frameworks. However, any missteps could risk accusations of religious and racial profiling too. India may continue to advocate for global recognition of certain Khalistani factions as terror organizations, applying international pressure on countries like Canada to curb anti India activities within their borders. To counter the divisiveness these attacks generate, initiatives promoting dialogues and understanding between Hindu and Sikh communities could gain traction, potentially supported by Canadian multiculturalism policies. However, if I have to sum it up, these attacks are likely driven by a mix of historical grievances, political agendas, and strategic motivations where non state actors play a major role. The consequences, if not addressed diplomatically, and socially could create deeper division within communities and strain international relations. Addressing the root cause and fostering inter-community dialogue are crucial to prevent further escalation. These were my views. In your opinion, what could be the reason that these attacks have happened on Canadian soil? And that too, when what is the perfect timing for these attacks? Why there is a kind of mistrust that is being built between Hindus and Sikhs? Why all of a sudden this Pannu issue is gaining a lot of attention? There are so many unanswered questions that needs to be answered. Do you have any answers? Do reach out. Let our viewers know by submitting your comments. We would be looking forward to your comments in the section below. Till then, अपने हौसले बुलंद रखिएगा.